Really excited to spend some time with you. A wonderful morning to you guys. I wanted to just say, I'm so encouraged by what you guys are doing in spending this month and setting us aside and dedicating it to winning souls for Christ in a digital space. What an awesome thing! We're really excited that Nigeria is one of those countries that have really stepped up really in a wholehearted way. So I want to praise God for you. Want to say a special thanks to Brother Yomi and his team. You guys have been doing an awesome job. I'm inspired and learning a lot from you. So I've suggested that I share some a particular community and in a version of in an app that will give you an opportunity to interact with each other besides on WhatsApp. And I think it will foster this live on mission, our intentional way of engaging. So I'm going to share my screen, and I just want to walk you through a couple of slides. And then I will do a demo on the app, right? So as you know, we are all engaged in this digital outreach as part of Go 2020. And again, I just want to echo that I'm so excited that you guys are part of this. MissionHub is a mobile app that really calls us to take steps of faith. And you are already taking lots and lots of faith steps. And I want to praise God that He has given you the motivation to do that. As the 2 Corinthians 5:14 and 15 says, Christ's love compels us, for we are convinced that one died and therefore all died. And He died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for Christ Himself. Right? So we are all choosing to live by faith for Christ, and we're taking steps of faith. MissionHub allows you to collect and motivate you in that journey. And I'll explain a little bit more what that does. Okay. What is missional living? Missional living is to live like Jesus by intentionally taking steps of faith to demonstrate and communicate the gospel to people in everyday life. The fact that you're doing this now in May is awesome. But what about when June turns around? What happens when it's July or August? We still are called to be the salt and light to our world. We still are living a life on mission. And so we got to keep asking, who are the people God has placed in our lives? Because we know that every person matters. In Singapore, before COVID-19, I would drive, like a ride sharing. And sometimes I would do what they call a grab hitch, and I would give people a ride. And every time a person comes on board and they are a complete stranger to me, I start to pray for that person. I don't know the person, but I know he matters to God or she matters to God. And I try to start conversations with them. And like Matthew, I often would start talking about God tools. And sometimes by the end of the ride, they will ask me, how do I download this tool? And one or two people actually have immediately downloaded the tool on their phone. So it's cool to know that every person matters, right? And they are on a spiritual journey. Everybody we meet is on a spiritual journey, whether we realize it or not. So they could be uninterested, they are just living their life. They are not interested in Jesus at all. They could be curious. They look at the lives of Christians. They wonder, for example, in the COVID season, it's like, why are Christians so happy or so joyful? Why aren't they fearful or anxious? They're curious. Or they could be forgiven. They believe in Jesus, and they may be growing, or they might be even guiding. They're committed to help others. So they are all on a spiritual journey, right? But what counts is that we want to help them take a step of faith. If they're curious, we want them to take a step of faith to discover who Jesus might be. or they are uninterested, we hope to interest them a little bit to what Jesus has to offer. It is very similar to what you're doing when you share a short film, or when you put a text, or you put a meme or Instagram, on a Facebook post. You are trying to make people curious, and you're inviting them to take steps with you, right? And every step counts.
Yes.
So I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time here, and I will share this slide deck with you. But the idea is that we have words and deeds, and we want to do good, but we also want to bring the gospel. And it's not always just one thing. It's always a mixture, right? God has also called us to love the world, love the people, not the world as in like the worldly things. So it's not just the gospel words, but it's also the gospel deeds. It's not just good words, but it's also good deeds. Okay? What do steps of faith look like? Right now in COVID, but it gives us opportunities to do something with them. Okay, and in this app, I will demonstrate for you how you can do that. Then, one of the cool things about MissionHub is that you get to take these steps to do it too. And we're praying for each other. We are saying, hey, come on, let's cheer, let's celebrate when somebody takes that step of faith. Okay, so MissionHub is a free app, and essentially it helps you be intentional with those around you, one step of faith at a time. I will give you a specific link to go to it shortly, but do not worry, and I will do a demo for you, and then you will get a sense of what this is like. But I just want to end off with this framework, okay? And I'll show you in the app as well. But the idea is that God has called us to connect with people, right? So we want to relate with them. Then God has, called us to talk about, as Matthew said it rightly, talk about God to man and talk about man to God, right? So we want to bring the prayer requests or pray for our people that we want to reach out to. And we care for them. We do things that are show that we really care for them as a person, not just because we have something we want to offer them. Then when God opens the door, we want to share. And then the cycle repeats, right? We relate again, we pray, we care, and we share. Okay? Okay, I will skip this. And I just want you to go to this link now. If you just type it in your mobile phones, ndgt.us/go2020 MH. Okay, ndgt.us/go2020 MH. Okay, I'm going to do a demo for you right now. Okay, I'll stop share for a while. Let me put the link in here, so in case some of you need to see it. All right, and I'll also copy in the chat for the rest. Okay, somebody already put it. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Esther. What an awesome team you guys have. All right. So I'm going to share my screen now. If you go to that link, what will happen is that it will push you straight into the app. Okay. If you don't have the app, you just need to download it and sign in. Okay. There is a checkbox that say, take me to that right link, and it will bring you into the community. Okay. But I'm going to do a quick demo for you now. Then you understand some of the benefits of this app. Okay. All right. Can you see my mobile screen? All right. I think you should be able to see it and follow along. One of the first things if you are logging in the first time, it will give you some introduction, right? And then it will walk you through some of the benefits of the app and how to use it. But for me, I've been using it for a while, and I already have names of people that I'm praying for and taking steps of faith with. So what I want you to see is that how do you add a person? Okay, one of the key action points is that you add a name or a person that you can begin to start to relate, pray, care, and share. Okay, so on the top right here, you click that arrow, and let's just say I want to build a relationship with Joe. Okay, what step would you like to do with Joe? So I'll just skip the last name and I click continue. So how do we know each other? Well, he's a friend. All right, I'll just click here. And it will ask you the question, which stage best describes where Joe is on his journey? This looks familiar, right? Earlier we looked at it. He could be uninterested. He could be curious. Maybe he's open to spiritual topics. Maybe he shows that maybe he goes to church. Maybe he's forgiven. And maybe he's growing. Maybe he's even guiding, multiplying. And if you're really unsure, just say not sure. I don't know, because he's new to me. Let's just say for Joe, let's just say that I think he's curious, all right? So I would say Joe is here. He's a person that I think is curious, or I say here. So you'll be taken to this screen that says, choose a step to take with Joe this week, right? So you notice that, remember the framework I talked about? There's the relate, the pray, the care, and then the share. You notice every time I click one of those icons, it will suggest some things I can do with Joe, okay? So for example, I can say, I'm gonna give Joe a call and see how he's doing. We're not just, not focusing, not just on the practical, but also emotional needs, right? So I click here. So when I click this, it actually would pop up some suggestions, all right? Why this step is awesome and what it might look like. It gives some tips. It even prompts you to say, hey, this is something you could do. So, and on the bottom, I'll say, I'll add this to my steps. Okay. So Joe is the curious person now. And I have already one step that I'm going to do with Joe. Okay. And I know that I'm so forgetful. I get busy in life. So I'm going to set a reminder. I'll say every Wednesday at 5 p.m. or at 5:55 p.m. weekly, I'm going to have a reminder every Wednesday just to get me, just a quick buzz to say, hey, do something, give Joe a call, right? And once I've done it, I can check it, right? So that's as simple as that, okay? Let me show you a real example of somebody that I've been following with. His name is Ross Lee. He's my Muslim neighbor. So these are the real steps I'm taking with Ross Lee, right? There's a section where I can put some notes. I just kind of, new interactions with him. And there's a section that shows our journey. So this one I completed last week, but 2 weeks ago, but I forgot to put it. I wrote a short note to ask how he was doing. And I was surprised that he wrote back, right? Then I can actually go and check, what are the steps that I've put in for Rosalie. So there's a lot of cool, suggestions that are coming up, that will come up for you as well. Okay, so where is the community part, you're asking? Okay, the community part is here at the bottom here on the right. When you click communities, scroll to the bottom. The one on the bottom is this Indigenous Digital Outreach Communities. So what happens is, you can see just now what I did, right? Simon Xiao completed a step of faith with a curious person. I can click a heart because I want to celebrate with him. I can make a quick comment to just say, awesome, right? Right. So within the context of this community, we can celebrate with each other. Also, you can set challenges for one another. This is the community I'm inviting you to be part of, because this is the Indigenous Digital Outreach Community, where you can see that actually there are already some challenges that you can step up to be part of. You can see who else is part of this, who are the members, and you can together celebrate. Because together we have seen 37 steps of faith with 28 people in this year, and 7 people reach a new stage on their spiritual journey, right? So this is the community piece, and there are a few more things, but I'll stop here because of time. The rest, I think, if you're familiar with mobile apps, you can just play around. It's pretty self-explanatory. But again, the link that we gave you is to invite you to join this specific indigenous digital outreach community. Okay, I will post in the link as well on the WhatsApp chat, and some of you can also repost it to the other WhatsApp chat. But if you're already on the app, you can join using the community code. Otherwise, you follow that link that I gave you, and you should be able to come to this indigenous digital outreach community. Okay, so let me pause and see if there are any questions or comments.
Hi, Simon.
Hi.
I think it would be good if we have a demo video that we can share with those on WhatsApp, because they couldn't follow as you were doing the demo here.
Okay, no problem. So I was expecting that something like I appreciate that for bringing it up. So I will link for you 2 things: the link to this slide deck.
Okay.
In the chat here.
Please, Pius, bro Pius, can we get like 5 more minutes or 7 more minutes for Simon? Bro Pius?
It's all right, sir.
Okay, thank you. So you can have 5 to 7 minutes more.
Okay. What questions do you have, and or which part do you want me to go over again? I can do that.
I think when you started to show people how to add people from that point to where you stopped.
Okay, let me quickly review that part. Okay, so when you go into your apps coming out. Okay, so when you go to your home page of the app, you should be able to see something like that, and the heading says people, right? So these are the people that you are trusting to connect with each in your life, to be on mission with. So on the top right, you click the add. Okay, on the top right where you see the person with, let me go back again. On the top right, where you see personal ministry, you can click add the person, all right? Then you ask you, who would you like to take a step of faith with? All right, so let's say I will put Esther, not the same Esther on this call, right? And I say continue. And I might say Esther is actually a neighbor. Then you want to describe best to your understanding, who is Esther? Which stage best describes where Esther is on their journey? Remember, we say everyone is on a journey. They might be uninterested. They may be curious. They may be forgiven already. They could be growing, or they could be guiding. And if you're not sure, it's okay. Just say not sure. Let's say for Esther, I put not sure. Okay? Then here is after you add the person's name, the person, you want to add steps of faith that you want to take with Esther. So, for example, Esther is my neighbor. I could ask Esther if there's any kind of church or religious background, because maybe I'm not quite ready to talk about the meaning and purpose of life. So the third one, you can see it says, ask Esther if there's any kind of church or religious background. I'll just choose that. Then I click at the bottom, add to my steps. nice for them, maybe that they enjoy certain type of hobbies, right? You can always go to Esther and update where she is, right? Esther right now is not sure. Maybe you click it and you say, actually, after I talked to her, after I brought over a meal, actually, I think she is a person that is growing. So you click here, right? So then she has changed the stage, right? So that's something you can always change and add, right? So in the steps, it's for you to celebrate. And if you've done something with Esther, for example, this one, the step of faith, ask Esther if she's any kind. And let's say next Tuesday, I got to meet her as we were, coming up of work, I can check it, that box, and then you just type, we chatted briefly, so, all right. So, and then you add to our journey. That's it, So it celebrates, you hit the target, So it's fun, it celebrates your journey. What else do you want to do with the step of faith with Esther? And God can lead you to say, there's some more things that you can do with Esther, in this journey. Yep. I have a question about the community code. Okay, so let me go here. If you are already on the app, the community code is here. Okay. The community code, right, for the MissionHub community code, okay, 456141. Okay, and this is for the Indigenous Digital Outreach, community. And you're welcome to start your own local communities using the app as well, if you like. You can do it with your youth group, right? It's possible. So you track and you encourage one another as well. Yeah. So you to create a community is similar. On the front page, under communities, the top right corner, it says create a community. But for what we're inviting you to do is join a community, and you type in the community code there, 456141, right? Is that the number? Yeah. Okay, there it says there, Indigenous Digital Outreach Community. You click join. Okay. So that's it. I think the rest, I would welcome you to play around with it. And as you are ready, I think this is a great way to just kind of celebrate together what God is doing, especially as you step up with so many steps of faith today, tomorrow, and the weeks to come.
Hello.
Thank you so much for me to check out the videos. Yes, Yomi?
Yes, there's a question from the WhatsApp group. Please, can somebody read it for Simon? You can see it. Somebody's asking a question. Can you just respond and they will respond?
A point in the app to actively engage someone to accuse. A point in the app to you. I don't know if I understand the question. Okay, to clarify, this app is not a place for you to use to share with a non-Christian. Okay, this app is for you and I in this call, in this Christian community, trying to spur each other on as we live our life on mission. Okay, so it's not an app you share to a non-Christian, right? And it's not an app that you use to share the gospel. This is different from what Matthew shared, right? This is to keep you on track. Sometimes we have just so many people we are connecting with, so we cannot remember what conversation we had with that person. Yes, you can use a notebook to do that, but this is a cool digital solution that also celebrates with one another. So you may find it useful, or you may still have other ways to track. It's okay. But I think this is a good opportunity to try it out and experience it. Yeah.
Pius, you can go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, before you go, Simon, I have a question. What about if the person I'm sharing with doesn't have MissionHub app? How do I navigate? Is it a must we both have the app before the app can be used, or it is only myself that needs to get the app downloaded?
Sorry, Simon, did you get that, or you want me to answer that?
Yeah, I can't get it. Feel free to answer. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the app, Simon said the app is not for another person. It is for yourself. It's a app for management, to manage yourself, to manage your ministry activities. You don't need to use it to share with somebody. You don't need to invite anybody to install it. You, the minister, is the one that will install it to manage your ministry activities. Do you understand, sir?